to GenFriends. Dan, stop it. I'm Cheri Hudson Passey from Carolina Girl Genealogy, and welcome to our wonderful panel here tonight. We've got Laura Hedgecock from Treasure Chest of Memories. Hi, Laura.
Hi, glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here too. We've got Mr. Dan.
You don't even know who you are, much less.
I know. We've got Mr. Dan Earl, who's making us all laugh, our family history guy. Hi, Dan.
Hello, glad to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. And we've got Melissa Barker, our archive lady. Hi, Melissa.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here with all these funny people.
And Shelley Murphy. Shelley's back.
And I'll be good.
She's going to be good. Family tree girl.
Or I'll follow Dan's lead.
Well,
hey, everybody.
We're here tonight to talk about day 7 of relative race. It's just moving so fast, but I think that we all feel a little bit better after day 7. I think my favorite part was as they came on and kind of showed what was happening from day 6, and it was the new day, and they always kind of show before they leave that Kentrell had a smile. He was smiling, and I know my heart was like, oh, that he was doing better. So that made me so happy to see that. Yeah, and that his grandmother had just said, I loved how she said to him, this is going to be a hard journey. This is hard. We all have hard things that happen in our lives, but I'm going to be here with you the whole way to help you process this. And there was just a change. And he said that he had really thought about it overnight and kind of processed it a little bit, and you could tell he was feeling so much better. And I was like, yay for grandma.
Yeah.
I love her because, she's just being not mean, but she's just being so truthful. And I like that in a person. I'm a very much the type of person. I want someone to be upfront and truthful with me and not, and so I think that's going to go a long way in their relationship and making it a stronger one, because I really think she's somebody that he can really rely on and reach out to.
Right. He's going to be able to trust her.
He has to know that they also were hurting for him.
Yeah.
Not having him there. So in one sense, yes, it's all about him and his perspective, but his mother, what she went through, and then have that family. And then of course her mother said, you take that out on me. Don't go there.
On her, right?
Yes. And like you said, it's going to be a challenge, and go grandma, high respects for her for laying it down very direct.
Laura?
What I liked was how she focused on that this was going to, not like I'm going to try and change your mind or anything. She said it's a healing process.
Yes.
And that she was going to be like, I'm going to be there for you. And you're not used to that. But, you're going to get where you can trust me. So she might have been firm, but she was also very optimistic for himself.
And he did say that he had come to the realization after thinking about it all night that they did love him. It was just the situation that his biological mom was in at the time. And so it was just that situation, and they dealt with it the best they could. And so I think that was good that he came to that.
And what was best for him.
What was best for him.
Yeah. What was
exactly.
Best for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you love the t-shirt that Nolan got?
Yes. I love that.
That was
sweet. Really cool.
And to think about that, his mother wore that t-shirt.
Yeah.
Right. A picture.
It's just amazing.
She wore a t-shirt with a picture of him on it.
With him as, I guess, a newborn per se.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. I thought that was so sweet.
Is she still alive?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
And so hopefully within the next couple episodes, next 2 episodes, they will meet.
Hopefully. It also had the IAMH, always in my heart, on that shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Laura?
Since math is hard for me, so if oh wait, I can't ask that question until we get to the end.
That's right. You can't know what you're gonna ask, so you're gonna have to wait, right?
So what?
Yeah, I said you have to wait because
okay. All right.
Wait till the end. I know what you were gonna ask. I know what you're going to ask. So yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun season.
I'm not a fan of the challenges.
I think we're going to get more out of this than we thought we were going to. So this is going to be really fun. And so let's see. So we talked about, okay. And then, oh my gosh, it was so hard for Thaddeus to leave. Oh my goodness, that was hard. His grandma. His brother. Oh, that was so hard and so sweet. I just thought it was just so
Did
sweet.
you catch the clip on BYU TV? The clip of Thaddeus talking about his brother?
Yes.
That you did? Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. Yeah.
When he was driving in the car and he was crying.
Yes.
Oh, that was one. And then the other one, he was sitting and talking.
Yeah.
You know, and beautiful.
It was beautiful. And
I think, of course, we're tearing up listening to it.
Yes.
And then, of course, Karen was saying to him, and they were saying, well, that this was, I mean, it was his opportunity to help his younger brother.
Exactly.
Yeah. And because they're so much alike. And that he said, and I love that
he's the older.
Yeah. He said, I understand why I was taken and I was adopted and lived to grow strong and go through this. He says, I see God's purpose in this. And I'm just like, oh.
For him to be his brother.
Yes.
Yeah. And before he left, they gave him a picture. Mm-hmm. So it was his brother that he'd met before, and then this brother and their mom. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that was a really sweet picture. So that was a nice thing that he got before he left. But I did love that part in the car where he was talking about he sees the purpose in that.
Well, he sees himself and his younger brother.
Yes. Well, we all see him.
well, not only that, but I mean, what he's struggling, or because they didn't go into any detail, but obviously, because Thaddeus talked about it, that his brother's going through some issues, and it's issues that evidently Thaddeus has gone through as well. And so I think Thaddeus was really upset because having to see him go through that. Yeah. And he could see the hurt, he said. But I also think that Thaddeus is going to be really good for him because Thaddeus seems like a very nice
good for each other.
Yeah, yeah. Because he mentioned too, it was a real dark place for a while, and so you know, he can help him with that. And so I thought that was a wonderful realization that he had.
I'm liking those two stories.
Yeah, because he was able to have such a wonderful mom and Cheri have all that support and strength. Now he can give that strength to his brother. And I just thought that was beautiful.
But I believe Thaddeus' mom, the adopted mom, should be right there for a brother.
I think
probably
so too.
Oh yeah.
That's just like you got a new mama right there.
Exactly.
You know, a second mama right there. Yeah.
Exactly. And then Tia and the dragonfly.
Oh yeah, that was kind of odd. Yeah.
Gosh, she wants to talk about that.
Interesting.
Well, her relative, and I can't remember, it was who was her relative when they left, gave her a dragonfly.
Cousin? No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, gave her that dragonfly, and she had just said it was her aunt. It was her aunt.
Sorry.
Yeah. Dan, were you going to say something?
Oh, no. Yeah, just that she had dragonfly earrings on at the beginning of the race, and then there was like dragonflies flying all over when they like the place where they were, and
that was
it's like do.
That was quite amazing. So I mean, that in and of itself was a very fun start, you know, before we even get into where they're going or the challenge, or just that little bit at the beginning was so much fun. You know, it really just kind of sucked you right into this episode. And I really do think that, and we've talked about this before, that we really aren't seeing a lot of the driving because there's so much that they have to show us that happened.
And I'm glad that they are.
Yeah.
You know, because it is really making this episode, even though this is a very emotional season, we're really getting to see so much more of the relationships and explanations and all of that.
Exactly.
So that's good.
Well, we also saw the poetic nature of Team Red and Team Blue as they're texting each other. That was really cute.
All the teams have a little different personality. Where the previous couple seasons we saw all the bonding happening and stuff, and you're seeing a little bit of that, but not the same way. from the previous ones.
Yeah, and probably just the clips that they're showing us. But I thought those texts were really funny.
Yeah,
and then Team Green was it both? No, it was Red at that particular point. They were making fun of Dan, and so I just thought
that was
they were making fun of Dan in the cars they were driving. Well, we've done that before too on here, gone in relative race. Yes, Dan.
Not me, the other
not
one.
you.
Yeah,
not you.
The other Dan.
The other Dan.
The other Dan, the man.
So I personally would be flattered if a team did make fun of me.
Yeah.
Like on there, like
we
just
do all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I watch the episodes I'm not on, Shelley. I know you guys make fun of me.
Oh gosh, that is so
we love you, Dan.
We do.
So
but I'm gonna say for this past episode, my favorite was meeting Daddy.
Well, we'll talk about that after we get to the challenge. But we'll talk about that after we talk about the challenge. You're right. Exactly.
Oh, I didn't like the challenge. And
I
did the challenge before.
Oh, I love the challenge.
They're bombing on the challenges this season.
Oh no, I love that challenge. I thought it was so much fun.
No, I'm not tasting. No,
another one for the family reunion.
The barbecue sauce.
Another one.
She had a phobia.
So it was called Fill Your Face, which was Fill Your Face. And what they had to do was those Laura, tell us about the goggles.
They had these eye masks like people use to either get swelling down or to sleep in a bright room or a room where your roommate is still on Facebook when you're trying to go to sleep.
She's saying that because Laura and I room at conferences and she always wears these masks. I'm like, how do you sleep?
Do you have a sleep mask?
She does. And she looks so cute in it. But that's why she's
But I have no eyeballs on it. So I've definitely been losing out. So they all had these eyeballs painted on there, kind of like an Ellen DeGeneres game. And they had plates in front of them that they kind of had to lap like a dog. And then they, without saying what it was, they had to describe to the other person on their team what it was.
Oh,
I thought it was better than the time that they were hanging stuff up and they had
I
thought this was better because it was in a bowl in front of them. And I think they had identified sweet potatoes as being the gross out food.
Because
that's not gross to me.
Everybody was like, oh, well, this one's good.
Yeah, because Team Red had won, and so the previous day, so they had an advantage in this challenge, and the other teams had a disadvantage. But the only disadvantage was supposed to be a yucky food, and it was just sweet potatoes.
It was sweet potatoes, But
then again, sweet potatoes aren't that great just to eat without doctoring them up.
Actually, they're not gross. They're not gross.
I'm with Shelley. They're good. They're good.
Yeah, they're not gross.
Brussels sprouts, I would have gotten maybe a little bit of gross.
That black licorice was gross for me enough.
They were worried it was going to be like
if you really like it or you really hate it.
Yeah,
black licorice is the best. Better than that. Disgusting.
I'm there with you, Melissa.
Gross.
I just thought that was funny that anything that like the Greek yogurt that is to go disgusting.
I don't like Greek yogurt either.
Everything was so funny.
I'm okay with Greek yogurt if I put fruit and granola in it.
Yeah, he had it all over his mouth. But the funny thing with the licorice is the licorice was supposed to be their bonus, their good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was because it was Karen's favorite candy. And I think that's probably why they did it, because all he had to say was your favorite candy. And they got it like that.
Well, somebody did say that, your favorite.
But he was,
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus said, he described it your favorite candy, because they're the only ones that got black licorice. And so she got it immediately. She knew exactly. But again, he was disgusting. And she said, oh, this game was so fun. And he goes, no, this game was disgusting. So I guess it just depends on your frame of mind. But what I thought was funny was Leah couldn't really explain what jelly beans were. That was really funny.
Well, she thought they were chocolate covered raisins at first.
Or yogurt covered raisins or something like that. So I thought that was really funny. And the barbecue sauce was funny because apparently we heard at the end that Carolyn hates barbecue sauce.
Carolyn hates it.
She says it shouldn't even be a condiment. So funny. But then John got it right away because he goes, well, that's my favorite. So it's perspective. So I thought that was a really fun game because it was they were all laughing.
It was better than last week. And
they were all laughing and having a good time, and nobody was really stressed out, and so I thought
and nobody timed out, right?
Nobody timed out, right?
I thought one team did.
No, nobody timed out on this one. I mean, there was baked beans. I'm trying to think what else there was.
Oh no, it was
the Jello. The Jello.
They didn't want to touch that.
The Jello.
What did Thaddeus call it? Old people food or something?
This is what old people eat in the hospital.
Yeah. In the hospital.
He's right, but also, and I don't know about you, those of you that grew up in the South, but my mom used to she'd throw different, who knows what, the kitchen sink into the Jello and call it a congealed salad.
Yeah. Exactly.
You never knew what was in it. It was
yeah.
Well, see, my grandma always made. Yeah, my grandma made it with black cherries and chunks of cream cheese in like
I've seen it like
black
that,
cherry Jello. It was so good.
So it's more of a dessert.
Yeah. It was we'd slice it, like she put it in like a bundt cake pan, and like it'd come out, and like she'd slice it, and then we'd have slices of it. It was real good.
Now, have your kids ever had that?
No.
You need to make it for them.
You need to try it and make it for them. Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, we always just had fruit cocktail in the Jello. That was it.
Well, I have to tell you, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed their faces. I just did, but I'm glad that because they were worried, because Kentrell had said, I hope that this isn't going to be like Fear Factor. The bad thing, little bugs crawling around you or something like that. So I'm glad they didn't do anything real disgusting when they said, I mean, if that's as bad as they're going to get a sweet potatoes in there, they were all okay. But that was fun. I think that was a lot of fun for all of them. And it was kind of a relaxing kind of, that was fun kind of challenge. So I think they all enjoyed it. But now we get to them trying to get to their relatives. And Red, I didn't think they were going to get there. I didn't think they were going to get
know.
There. They must have asked everybody in that town where that street was, and nobody knew. Not a single person knew. And then they just happened. Thaddeus says, I just kept seeing this street, and we hadn't gone down this street yet. So we went down the street.
And there you go.
And it was the right street. So I was really worried about them because, they just could not find the street. And
the black team had an issue too.
How do you know? Oh yeah, well, and Team Black thought they were going to, what was it, something lake,
Crescent
Lake, and they were going to
Cedar Lake versus Cedar or something like that.
Crescent.
You're right.
It was Crescent Lake. Yeah.
And it was funny because
they're in Oregon, where everything's got names like that. I mean,
what's interesting is
there's stuff out there. It's lakes and crescents and gorgeous stuff.
So they had to turn around and go back because they were completely going in the wrong direction. So I felt bad for them too. That was sad. But Team Blue went into that fire station and took the picture of the map. I thought, how smart are you?
Yeah.
They took
That's actually the first ones, I think, in all the seasons that took a picture of a map.
I don't know, and maybe they are, but that was very, very smart. I thought that was great. That was great.
And it was only for where they were going, but I think they're the only ones. Kudos to do that.
Maybe, but I'm trying to remember Leah, and they didn't have too much trouble either finding their street. So
taking a picture of a map would have been hard with a flip phone to like zoom in. Now that they have a smartphone, it's a little bit easier.
Yes.
Exactly.
This is the international sign for I'm zooming in on my phone, in case you were wondering what that was.
That we all knew exactly what you meant without you even having to describe it to us. Yeah. So, well, talking about Leah and Nolan, so they get to that relative's house, and Nolan has another brother. I mean, he is just racking up the siblings on this season. But this was a maternal. This is on his mom's side,
right? Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was interesting. And I think I remember them saying at the beginning that they knew they were pretty sure that they'd heard that he had a brother. So they knew, of course, about his biological mom, and they had heard that he had a brother. And so, as Leah was saying, this just put the face and the name and a personality to this brother. And so, and then he found out he had more siblings on that side, and he has a 1-year-old brother.
Yeah, that's
very interesting. So, I mean, if everything goes well, he can be in this little boy's life for good. This little boy will never
know. 1-year-old.
He'll never know without him.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really cool. I think that's really neat. So,
but was that on the dad's side?
It was on the mom's side. It was on the mom's side because the rest, the other siblings he's met.
Mom just had the baby.
Yeah. The other siblings that he's found have been on his paternal side. So he's got quite a lot of brothers and sisters that he's met on this trip, both older and younger. So I don't know how you're going to keep all those people straight. Figure out who everybody is, especially when you meet and then have to leave. So that's going to be fun times getting to know each other. I think that's going to be really
do you
fun.
see with the brother sister, even though I know they're not biological, but their demeanors are the same.
True. That's very
true. You know what I mean? They're for not being bio brother and sister.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's because they grew up in the same household. And so there's something to be said for nature versus nurture.
No. Daddy's skin have babies by women.
We don't egg Dan on by reading what he puts in it.
We certainly don't comment on it.
It only encourages me. So
he put it there for a reason.
Oh gosh, I feel like we've totally lost control. All right, let's
talk about control. It's not just
we never had it to begin with.
You know what? I'm a teacher, and it's about time I get to be the one that derails a class instead of bringing it together.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Well,
let's bring it back.
Bring it back to
Cheri. Come on, bring it back.
Let's bring it back to. Let's see. Let's go to Thaddeus. Who wants to talk about who Thaddeus met this time? He met a cousin.
Met his cousin Lene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they share a last name.
Yeah, they have this.
Was that Irving?
Yeah, Irvin. Yeah, E-R-V-I-N.
Irvin and Irving. Yeah.
No, it was both Irvin. They both were the same. They're both the same. Irvin. Yeah.
And that was the name that he got.
It's her name, but that's the name he has, his adopted name. So that is just one of those weird coincidences that happens. But the other weird coincidence is how much they like the arts.
Oh yeah.
Poetry, music, and dancing and music and theater and all that kind of stuff. I didn't realize that Thaddeus was an actor. I didn't realize that he had been doing that.
I thought they showed us that in an early episode.
They probably did. For some reason it didn't stick. And so that's really cool. So it's fun. And we've seen this before with people meeting biological family, and just shows where they're talking about their ancestors too, and how things get passed down the line. So I think that's really cool how it seems to somehow run in the genes somehow in their blood. Yeah. I think that was really, really cool. So I think and it was cute because he said, I haven't met a cousin, but I love my cousins and my family. And so this is going to be fun to have another cousin. So that was really cute. That was really cute. So, and again, everybody's accepting of Karen, and who wouldn't,
Oh yeah.
Who wouldn't? So I want to be friends with Karen.
I do too.
We all do.
And did she say she's got 3 other ones that she adopted? Was it 2 or 3 other kids?
I know there's a few more. So yeah. She's awesome.
She's got.
She's awesome. Yeah, she is really awesome. Okay, where do you want to go first? Do you want to go Team Black or you want to go Team Blue? They're both like,
let's go to Team Black.
Okay, go ahead, Laura.
Well, Tia met her nephew, and I didn't write down his name. What is his name?
Vincent.
Yeah, Vincent. That's
Vincent.
right.
Her brother Michael's son. Yeah.
And so there were some details in that. I was going to rewatch the episode this morning. I didn't get to it. I would like someone else to update me because I got confused about some of the facts. So her nephew was telling Tia about his dad.
Right.
Who was
her
Tia's
dad.
brother.
brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and his name was Michael. His name was Michael, and he's one of the.
But
He's one of the three
to take over.
Right. He was one of the three brothers that we learned last week had passed away. So of the three brothers, biological brothers, she has two of them have passed away, and so this one, Michael, died 3 or 4 years ago. His son was saying, and then it was alcohol. That he had been in the military and then just couldn't handle things after the military and started drinking. He also showed her a picture of their parents, Tia's and her brother's parents.
Yeah.
The father we knew, remember, he had been killed. She knew that, but he kind of explained a little bit more of the story about how he had been in a bar and was walking across the street and he was got hit killed by a bus, I think is what she said, which is so sad. And then of course the mom had passed away too, and so the boys kind of were taking care of each other for a while. Until
county stepped in or whoever
social services stepped in and pulled them out. And so there was a lot of pictures of the three boys together, a lot of they showed her of those three boys together, and you could just tell there were siblings. I mean, they look so much alike, and a lot of fun pictures of them. So she got a good view of what happened with them in their lives. And then she said something very similar to what Thaddeus said. She goes, now I understand why I took this journey. I took this journey to reunite this family. And so, because now she's connected with her nephew, and hopefully she'll meet somebody else on the other brother side, that passed away, and maybe her brother that's still living. And so that's what I'm hoping for her. But her demeanor seems to be different now too.
It's changed.
She was so angry. She seemed to be angry, and I apologize to you. I weren't angry, but it looked, I mean, it's just the way they probably cut it. I don't know, but she was. There seems to be a little bit more peace now, and there's got to be when you're getting answers. There's got to be peace that comes into your life as you're.
Well, I think her, Tia, and Kentrell, those two especially, came into this for the beginning with a lot of baggage and a lot of heaviness on their shoulders, and a lot of sort of kind of like
why me
this but me,
yes,
and so they've learned as they've gone to each that they've kind of removed some of that baggage and realized, okay, I'm not the only one in the world that's been through this or that's going through this.
Exactly. And Tia feels very much like that because of her brothers. She sees their situation, and now she's understanding her situation, and she could have been involved in that too, but she wasn't. She was adopted. She was adopted pretty quickly, I think, and so she didn't go through a lot of what they went through. So she sees that. And I know that last week she mentioned
she was saved.
She was grateful. Yeah, she was grateful now. She was that she didn't suffer through some of the things that her brothers suffered through.
And that will affect you.
Oh, definitely.
It's a dark side to all of that.
Yeah.
Where your mind's gonna go. Yeah. But I think the reuniting and getting some clarity, or just getting some answers to some of those questions, even if it's the one where we've heard time and time again that I didn't know anybody wanted me.
Right.
Yeah. Or did you, because one of the first questions typically, did you know about
exactly
me?
Yes. That's what they ask all the time. And speaking of that, so that's exactly what John asked. Now, it was clear. It was clear from the beginning when that man walked out who he was, because even Kentrell said, I see John's face coming out. He was cute. So much like his biological dad. That was just so amazing. And the change in John, because he said, I just feel joy. And I don't know that I've ever felt this kind of joy. And he said, I thought for some reason in my life, I just was not allowed to be happy. That just wasn't in the cards for me. And that broke my heart.
Yeah.
But he says, and now I feel joy. I feel joy at this meeting. And so He says, I don't care about the money. I don't need the money. I can go
He said,
home.
I'm done.
I'm done. I'm okay now. You know, we're done. So I thought,
but it's nice to be able to self-identify or someone that looks like you, you know, I've worked with kids, juveniles that were in adopted families, and there's always that yearning. And sometimes they can control it and sometimes they couldn't.
Right.
You know,
well, and he had met the brothers that you know looked like him, but this was even a step of that. Yeah, Laura.
Yeah, it kind of going back to connecting him with Tia, the way I cope with things, or the way I have to have a certain amount of information. And I mean, I can look at reality like it's a brick wall. Like I still bang my head up against it and against it and against, and eventually there's enough information in there that my brain finally lets go of stuff. And so I think because we're later in the week and it's been a big week and every day's been filled with emotions, I think it's so cool that John met his dad on day 7 because he's had enough of that journey that I just loved his reaction. I'm done.
Too.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was all just written all over his face. I mean, it was.
I wanted to hug.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
And hold on him, you know, and stuff. It was really, really. And again, the dad didn't know really about him.
He didn't know about him exactly.
Yeah.
Now the dad really pulled at my heartstrings because Neil is his name, because he talked about the metaphoric demons that he had dealt with. And John referred to the way he talked as being very authentic, but to me it was even very non-judgmental. Like he had this look at life, and especially John's biological mother as she is where she is who she is. I'm who I am.
I loved it.
And I just loved it. And I just loved the way that he talked. I know we don't want to give too many spoilers, but I loved how he talked to John about the prospects of maybe one day meeting her and how she would have felt, when John was born.
Right.
And, but they never came right out and said that they were both homeless, but they showed a lot of
the dad was
in the background of homeless encampments.
Well, he did show a picture. He said, do you know my mom's name? And he gave him the name. And then he said, do you have a picture? And he pulled up a picture that came from Facebook. And it was a profile picture. And he said, this is the homeless shelter. He recognized where the picture had been taken was a homeless shelter. And it sounds like to me that, it was so cute because he said, no, I got this phone call from my daughter saying a genealogy lady called me, which we know that genealogy lady is Tristan Tolman, who's been on with us before. She is the genealogy lady for Relative Race, and told me about you. And so then he started looking. It sounded to me like he started helping to look for the mom, but it doesn't sound like they were able. He had said we couldn't find her. That I asked around with friends and I couldn't find her.
Because he said he still knew a couple people
that knew
at that location where he thought that picture was taken.
Right. And that she probably was still dealing with some things. And John was very understanding about that. He says, I know what it's like to deal with those demons and how hard it is.
He was able to work through most of his.
Right. But it sounds like
I love that.
And it was interesting to me that that John's parents had kind of a long-term relationship. It might not have been a traditional one.
Right.
But I do know people that have a little trouble digesting that maybe it was a one-night stand, or you know what I mean? That it was just this biological event. Yeah. Which I guess it still is. But I think there was some peace in that for John as well.
That they had a relationship, right? And that and that he knew, his biological dad knew that she had other children, which we've met. I mean, John met a couple of, and heard about some of those brothers, and that he knew she loved those children, but she knew it was best for her to give them up. And so that's what he was kind of saying to him. I know she must have felt the same about you, but knew it was better she couldn't take care of you. And I think that helped him a lot too. So
yeah. So the brothers are all from different fathers than Neil.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't. Yeah, I believe so. So, but he hinted to having a daughter. So I guess maybe John's got a half sister out there somewhere too. So, because he said my daughter called, about the genealogy lady. So he must have a half sister out there somewhere. But the relief on his face, the whole it was just beautiful. And Cantrell was just, you could tell he was better the way he was looking at John. It just felt like he was like, oh, this is so cool for you, dude. And it just looked like he was just happy for him as well. And I loved that.
It's also nice about the mental health discussions that's happening, besides the highlighting of the adoptive parent or mother, in Thaddeus' case, but just to be able to bring that out. But also you think about them, the drinking, the different sets, the drinking, the homelessness, the drugs, all these different spaces where people, I'm going to say, kind of get locked in for a bit or whatever, and stuff. And I'm glad Relative Race is allowing that to come out, because you know what? Welcome to America. I mean, we're seeing this in our communities and our own families. And we're also seeing some of the peace and a little bit of change.
Yeah. What I loved is how his dad said that he said in 2008, that was when he had his rescue. That's when he
did use that word.
His rescue. Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. He goes, and I'm a different person. And he also said, I wouldn't have wanted you to have met me before then.
Yes.
I would not have wanted to have you come into that and be introduced into that lifestyle. He said, I'm glad I didn't meet you until now. And I thought that was wonderful too, because he realized it wouldn't have been a good time. So it could end up being that it's not a good time for him to meet his biological mom, or we might find out that she's better than anybody thought she was. And, she's been rescued as well.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have to be on the show. I mean, just the fact that door could possibly be open for John at some point.
But at least he has a name now, and he has a picture, and he goes, oh, and he's got her nose, and
he's got a story. I mean, to me, that's the most important. Is even more than the picture. He kind of knows the situation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's healing. That's filling those holes that we've talked about before, getting those answers. So even if he doesn't meet her on the show, he knows her name now. He knows the story. He knows what happened. And that's more than he knew 7 days before that,
That's right.
So exactly. So we get to go to next thing we know. What do we got? We've got the building. We've got.
No, we do. I mean, they talked about, they said the word results before they went to the building. So they've been listening to you, Cheri.
They're listening to me and giving us a commercial, at least a chance.
You're going to be like associate producer soon. All your advice.
No, if only we'd said that, a couple of seasons ago, and they'd heard that and implemented it into this season, because this season's already been filmed. They have no idea what complaints we have. Anyway, so we go to results, and then I'm really worried because Black team's in danger of going home. Who else has got 2 strikes?
Green's got 2 now.
Is it who else had 2 strikes going into here?
Green.
Oh, going in.
Green had 2 strikes.
So they could have gone home, and so we're really worried
all
about
4 are still there. Next, it might be different.
What's really cool is we know that whoever came in first place gets immunity. On day 8. Yeah. So when you think about that, we've really got a good chance of all the teams.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
Making it to at least day 9, right?
That was my math question.
Yeah, that's your math question. I think we've got a really good chance of that happening. So, as we're going into it, we've got Team Green that came in first.
They'll definitely make day 9 now.
So they'll make.
Yes.
Yep. Well, yeah, because they got the.
You're right.
Yeah, then blue came in number 2, and so of course I'm scared to death for Team Black. Like, no, I don't want them to go home because I want to see who else they get to meet. But unfortunately, Team Red is the one that got the strike, so now they've got 2.
Yes,
and but
so everybody's got 2 then.
No, not everybody's got 2.
Not blue.
Not blue. Blue's only
Blue's
got
only got
1 strike.
1.
Yeah.
Okay. Go blue.
Yeah. So depending on what happens, on day 8, there's a chance they all can get to day 9, which is what we want, right?
Yes.
What we want. So
we really do.
I mean, yes. I don't know if it's ever mathematically, unless they did 2 times gave people, a pass and not, but I don't think we can ever get all 4 teams to day 10. I don't think it's mathematically possible. But
I'm not the math one.
Yeah,
I don't think it is, but that would be really, really fun. So we know at this point they're all going to 8.
It can't happen. If there's an equal distribution of strikes, if each team got a strike every week in a row, then you would, even on day 10, somebody would have to get a 3rd strike on day 9.
Yeah,
thus preventing them from
exactly. So there's no way. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah. Relative race.
But that's okay. That's
there's got to be a winner. There's only got to be
someone's going to win.
And we just want to make sure everybody gets to day 9 because we want to see who they meet. And that's the genealogist in us. We just want to know who they're going to connect with.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish relative race would say what document or what I know it's DNA.
But they still have to do a paper trail, right?
But they got to have a paper trail.
They still have to do a paper trail.
And so I wish we would hear some for us. I love everything about the show. I'm not saying that. Yeah. But I also wonder, Yes, Dan?
BYU needs to have a relative race after show.
Oh,
where just for genealogists, where we talk about all the nerdy paper stuff, and then the people that are just into it for the Kleenex and the feely goods can do that. But then, Mary can just get on there and explain everything.
Exactly, absolutely. Mary, we miss you. She's just been so crazy. First,
Mary already knows who wins. She already figured it out.
She's already done it all.
I've often wondered the reason why they did go into the paper trail is because they're looking for living people.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's what it is.
Well, but it always leads to living people.
I know, but they can't put that on the air. Plus, the non-genealogist would just fall asleep.
But the after show.
But you do after show.
The after show, exactly.
Relative race.
I'm with you.
Listen to this, Dan.
After the race, just after the race, it's just one show. BYU TV.
Yes, Dan.
One show is all we're asking for.
Our Dan.
After the race.
Work.
For us, it would be day 11. For us, it would be day 11.
Yeah. Day 11, day 12, whatever they want to call it, right?
I could take it after the day race. 10.
And they can just talk about the genealogy stuff if they what they can
wrap up.
Get waivers from people. I mean, whatever, you're good.
Dan's right though. Dan, you're right though. Every time they do show a document, Mary's on it, and she'll tell us privately. Guess what I found?
Freeze frame that, zoom in, do the research. She's got blank pedigree charts sitting by,
Oh, Mary. Oh, Mary.
She's going to say, I've got to get back on there to control Dan. What he says about me.
But I think, and I know that's to satisfy us as the researchers, but also for the people that are thinking about doing it.
Yeah.
That, you're getting a glimpse.
Yes.
And things like that. So,
well, I've noticed several times, every time we're in the middle of a season, somebody will post, 1 or 2 people will post on the Relative Race Facebook pages. I would like to find my biological family.
Absolutely. You see it on Twitter too.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's so many people out there that
I don't read it on Facebook because I don't want any spoilers.
Yes.
Number 1.
Yeah.
This is, folks talk too many opinions of what
about what's going on.
I think the risk is low, Shelley. I mean, there's so many people looking for their biological parents, and relative race chooses 4 teams a year. So maximum 8 people a year.
Yeah.
I think the risk is low that the one person you read about is going to be on the show.
It's the opinions.
Yeah.
It's the opinion.
Speaking of opinions, you know what we forgot to talk about is Dan asking them. Now I hear.
About the impersonations.
Yeah, and that was so funny. So Thaddeus does this big, thing and doing this relative race, 3, 2, and he goes, "Do I really do that? Do I really do that?" And so when he did that, and then they had the little things shine, on his tooth. That was really cute.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was really, really cute. But it's so easy to do, though, and I know we've done it even on the show, on our show, is to be Dan on the show, relative race.
My real name is Trevor. I mean, I'm
Trevor. Oh gosh. Well, next week is day 8.
Day 8.
Day 8. I mean, we're
ready.
We're getting to the end. It just seems like we just started.
So
for some reason, this season seems to have flown by faster for me. For some
we
weird
said
reason.
that last season.
Maybe we did. Maybe I did, but I just feel like boom, we're getting so close to the end, and maybe it's because there's been so many just real emotional stories on here, and we've fallen in love with these teams, and
well, I'm still rooting for who I was rooting for from the beginning. I do it every season. I got that team in the back.
You got that team in the back. Yeah. I just
let me know when y'all laying out the bets. So
we'll do that after day 9 when we see who's going to day 10. Then we'll and it'll all depend on what the challenges are, because are they going to be physical? Are they going to be a mental? Are they what's it going to be?
I didn't like all the challenges this season. I thought they're a little bit hard, or wait a minute, I didn't get it, and stuff. The food one I got.
Yeah, I love that one. I love that one. And every time I tweet, this will be good for the family reunion.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So anyway,
I tweeted that too. I was the same way.
Yep, that's right. Where's the book? Come on now. Anyway, is there anything else from this show that we didn't
I wonder. I just thought of something.
Okay.
Who was it? Who was it that hang on a minute, I'll tell you, because I wrote it down. Here it is. Blue team. John, did you notice that he took the picture with the Polaroid?
Oh, he did?
Polaroid camera, yes.
He did. I didn't notice. Did they give them Polaroids this because they give them a backpack. They give them a backpack full of stuff. And so
it looked like an old-fashioned Polaroid. I know that recently they've come out with new kinds of Polaroids, but this looked like an old-fashioned one, the kind that flips up and it's this big.
Yeah, but those are real popular right now.
Are they? Okay.
Old Polaroids that shoots out the picture.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, when I saw it, I thought he's using a Polaroid.
Well,
from the 1970s.
Remember back, what season were they on? 3, 4? I don't remember. Joe and Jerica, were they on 3?
They had them.
And remember they took the pictures of each of their relatives that they met, and they hung it in the back of the car with a little line and clothespins. So I'm wondering if they give them Polaroid cameras to use. Okay, somebody let us know.
Yeah.
The teams, whoever's watching this, let us know.
Thaddeus, tell us if we got Polaroid.
There you go.
Yeah, or Leah, because I've heard from Leah, and just any of the teams, do they give you tell us what they put in the backpack? We want to know what.
That'd be cool.
But for some reason, did they go through the backpack on the first night?
I don't know. I
can't remember.
I don't remember them doing that this season.
No,
showing us what was in it. We want to know what's in the backpack. That's what we want to know. We want to know what's in the backpack. And what's been the most useful thing so far that was in that backpack?
Oh, that's good.
Well, definitely wasn't the maps. Not the maps.
That's too funny. Anybody got anything else? Did we cover everything, do you think?
No, but I have a prediction.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I predict next season they're going to forbid the taking pictures of maps.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
They might. Although, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it if you're smart enough to find a map and take a picture of it.
I know. It's just, I
only remember it this season.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see, Laura. We'll see.
Yeah, Laura.
And when she's right, we'll say, Laura, you were right.
Yeah. I don't remember it happening in previous seasons.
I know they've looked at maps.
They haven't had the nice smartphones to do it
like Dan said.
The flip phones take pictures too.
Yeah, but you just can't zoom in.
You can't zoom in.
Right.
That's true.
Yep, just like that. Just like that. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. And we would like to hear your comments about this day, season 7, and all the things that happen. And what are your predictions? What do you see coming in the like Laura said, do you think they're going to ban the map, the picture taking of the map? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? And do you have a favorite? And who do you think is going to win? And are we going to get all the teams to day 9? What do you think? And then I want to know what's in the backpack. So it's super cool. We want to hear, we want to know what's in the backpack. With that, we will say goodbye and we'll see you next time on GenFriends. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.